Hello everyone, I am Ben here for Tax Strategy and the U.S. Tax Association. Welcome to another match from the 2016 U.S. Tax Open. We here are going to be watching the match between Simmon and Ally, and this is one of the last few matches in the loser's bracket of the double elimination section of the tournament. Let me pull that bracket up really quick. And so here we have Ally versus Simmon down here, which is the match we are currently about to see. They will go on. The winner of this match will go on to face the winner of the Simmon versus No Hat Coder. And then, as you can see, Unsweet yesterday was just knocked down into the last match of the losers bracket, which that is the semifinal. So we will get to see who Unsweet faces after these people are all filtered down. One of these four people will be facing Unsweet to go into the finals. So I do believe the players are all ready. So let me give them the go-ahead and we'll get this match underway. So it looks like Simmon has opted to go first. All right, got a question from Simmon here. All right. Good luck to both the players. And I'm not sure, we may be having... Let me see if they didn't get my message. All right, there we go. Now we are underway. Minor delay there. Apologies for that, but so let's see. Ally should not take this long for his first move either, but so I'm expecting we'll probably see adjacent corners. I've seen both matches yesterday started all of their games that way. It seems to be pretty common. There we are. And this is what we need to come up with a name for this opening. I think it's the standard opening, basically, for 6x6 currently. Adjacent corners, and then kind of like take your chunks out of the middle. But this is good. This is looks like Allies jumping into Simmons half right away with this move. Oh, and this move now. He's trying to cut him off. I'd expect to see a capstone fairly soon here. Something from Ally, a capstone here would be okay. Here would also be fairly all right. Oh, there we go. Capstone from Simmon first. I usually look to see the capstone from player playing black first, just because if you can get that capstone down in a good enough spot early as black, you can use that power that brings to the board to help equalize the position. But so I think Ally is probably going to get his capstone down in the next two moves. And if I'm wrong on that, then either he's got some next level strategy, or I'm just wrong. All right, so he is taking his part out of the middle. Oh, and first capture here from Simmon, jumping with his capstone over that way. An ally just being tenacious, and there I'm proven wrong with the 2 moves on the capstone. Just being tenacious with his laying of flats. This is not probably the spot that he would have wanted to do that. And there's his capstone. Okay, finally put that down on E3. So that will definitely help him out. And I say that because it's got good influence over the squares where Simmon is currently trying to build a road, and it stops. It's currently stopping edge crawl. It's adjacent to the center squares here. You could really say that, you know, as far as centralization goes, it's equally positioned to Simmon's capstone. Players both doing great on time. They have not taken more than a few seconds per move here. So Simmon's up at 16 and a half. He's gained a minute and a half since the game started. Ally at 15 and a half minutes. Oh, and there we go. Simmon's soaking up some flat stones there. And this is attack threat coming through here. All he needs is this square. So allies either got to block this square or capture something. So we'll see where that goes. And there, yes, he does opt for a capture. C3 to the right. And now we are starting to get into some three-dimensional play here, really. Let me just give us a little bit more of a view of these stacks. There we go. An interesting wall here for Simmon. Really, it's definitely not defensive because there's no credible attack threat. Excuse me. So this is a fairly offensive wall. Not that ally should be offended. But interestingly, I don't consider this to be real strong right here. He could jump this onto the stack, but with ally's capstone here, he can flatten that at any time. So it doesn't really do a ton of good. If that's his intention, at least. It could just be to fill in some center space and have a pseudo wall, or sorry, a pseudo capstone kind of. Walls can often act like a secondary capstone. Of course, the downside being that they don't contribute to roads, but they do influence other squares similarly because flat stones, obviously can't stack on top of them. So from here, with this B2 move, to me it looks like Simmon, and now with C2, he's looking to expand his play to other sections of the board. Because Ally has done a really good job of just getting his pieces over here. He's really clogging up this top right section of the whole board. Now, I don't see that building into attack threat. Well, he does actually. Now I see that with E1, he is pointing this out to me just by making that move, that going up here, he could come up with something through there. Similarly though to what Ally's done, I mean, this whole section, this upper area of the board is very equally filled with the player's pieces. So it'd be exceedingly difficult to get a road to exist through there. C6. Okay, there he's made a threat. And that's a surprisingly effective one, I would actually say. That coming through here, and it is a okay. The wall's blocked out before I even got to finish drawing it, but now the one thing to keep an eye out here, Simmon, he's got this started, and I mean these three are uncontested. That's half of a road that's uncontested on the board essentially. That's going to make things a little bit easier for him if he does want to try to force through this side. Okay, great. That's good. Good move by Ally there. He's basically pinning this wall for one. That wall can only move along this line that I've drawn, which is kind of what a pin is in TAC. You need a double pin to pin it completely so it can't move at all. All right, and to keep note with that move, with F2 here, this is nearly a road for Simmon, and because this capstone, his capstone there, has two pieces below it, it's able to jump there, there, and there if this capstone were not in the way. So that also now has Ally's capstone pinned here. It cannot move out of the way here. He's got to stay here standing in this line to stop Simmon from just stomping right down through there. We could see... I think Ally needs to worry about these squares. I would not be surprised to see Simmon want to take something like D1, maybe. I mean, if not for that worry, my pick for Ally may have been something like B6. Oh, interesting. Okay, he's just getting himself... This is exactly what I was talking about before, that this whole part of the road was uncontested. And so now Ally's just basically working on a horizontal threat and getting some influence over these pieces on the road. So that basically, the more pieces you have adjacent to your opponent's road threat, the more options you have for blocking it. So that's just a good play. It's one of those moves that does two things at once. It's building a road, and he's threatening the road attempt of his opponent. Now, of course, along with that, you of course could realize that that gives Simmon plenty of options for, attacking back upward onto Ally's road. So, while it's good to prevent your opponent from winning, it's not not necessarily going to be like the best for helping you win. And especially with this one captive down here, that's going to be the attractive piece for Simmon to go after. Very likely with this move downward. And you have to remember, this capstone's pinned here. He can only move, he's pinned, by the leap of this capstone. Let me try that arrow again. I think I need a smaller line here. I'm going to get more detailed in my drawing. So he wants to jump down. So this capstone can only move up and down, because he's got to stay in the way. Simmon taking a little bit of a think here, but he's got plenty of time. Even all this time he's been using up on the thought for this. He's still at 15 and a half. Ally's down to 13 minutes. But we are 16 moves in, so that's a very, very healthy amount of time still. Interesting. All right, so Simmon opts for C2 plus. So clearly what he was spending his time on here was calculating out what this line means. But you have to remember that that single move there means that this cap is no longer pinned, because even with this cap throw downward, if you bring that capstone down to this square, he's still missing a piece. He's still one short of the road, so it brings the road threat 2 moves away. Oh, and there we go. Ally decides to just fill in that C2 square. Oh, and Simmons filling in here. Interesting. So you got to keep an eye on Simmons' connections. So he's got both top and side here. So this guy, this is attack threat. This is reaching here. And there is still plenty of exposure of black pieces to that it's not a problem. But so Ally definitely does have, a decision to make, a defensive move. I would be wondering about something like, maybe B3 would be okay. Bring B3 onto here. And with that, this C2 would essentially be kind of hanging. It's no great moves exist in there as far as I can see. There are definitely still good moves though. Oh, I just pulling from the spectator chat here. Mediocre Taberlands pointed out that E2 to the left. Whoops, I need to have my drawing tool on. Sorry, E2 to the left there might be one of the best. Ooh, he's moving the capstone. Interesting. So that cap is currently unpinned because there's this second break. There's 2 breaks in the road. Wow, but that totally doesn't stop the threat. He must have missed that threat because this jump here does still make the road. Yeah, that was just I was not realizing the state before that move. All right, and there we have it. A road for Simmon. Good game to both players. That was a sudden end, as can happen. But yes, that move was a capstone onto his own black piece. So that does mean first game goes to Simmon. And with the remaining pieces, that's gonna be a tough second game. So let's take let me go ahead and update the bracket on that. Ally versus Simmon. All right, so where we currently stand. 6 points, not 5 points. So yes, the players, for a road win, the players do get 6 points under the tournament scoring, which is the length of the board. If there's a flat win, then they get the difference in flats up to the length of the board, and that is the current method of the scoring for the tournament. So as we can see here, so now Simmon is leading Ally. Let's see if players want a brief intermission before game 2. It looks like they may not want one. Let's see if we're going to get going right away. All right, it looks like the players are not going to have an intermission. They are ready for game 2. So let me get that brought up. And of course, so in this game now, Ally gets the white pieces. All right, so Ally is bringing us down. Oh, we have an opposite corner opening. So A1, F6. Now this, they are mirroring. So Ally, ooh, immediate turn 3 capstone. Simmon opting not to bring the cap out so early. So it looks like Ally's planning to just throw it all in on his initial tech and his initial road threat, which is probably the way to go. He wants to win fast and decisively. He is going to have to play really well to essentially kind of pull one over on Simmon here. Simmon is actually the longest surviving player in the loser's bracket. I believe he's been in the loser's bracket since about round 2, and he has won every game since then, or he would not still be in the tournament. So he's definitely a formidable opponent. Simmon will also, I believe, I don't have that part of the bracket up, but he was number 1 seed coming into elimination. All right, capstone out for Simmon now. Down here. A little bit less centralized than Ally, but could work out okay. Ally might be able to work something with this whole top section of the board that's been left empty, where you can see it's basically space-wise. There's not as much room down here where things can be adjacent to Simmons' pieces. This is very close to attenuate. It'd have to be missed, of course, by Simmon, but I would be personally, I'm not saying this is what Ally will do. I right where my cursor was. I'd be tempted to go there, because now if Ally captures up, that with no change on these squares, that is, this would be attenuate. All right, and Simmon, of course, does see it and blocks that. But yes, with that piece on there, this threat through here would mean that this capture could be responded to with this capture to maintain control of the road. So C5 looks pretty good for ally. Oh, he decides to capture. Interesting. So now this is attack threat, of course, straight through here. But he can go in either of these two squares. This capture up doesn't stop him going here. This capture up is replied to with this one, and then he's got free reign. So this is limited to completely this move. Obviously, Simmon could intersperse this one if he wanted to, but it's just going to result in one of his pieces being stuck in that pile and a stack under the control of ally. So this is an interesting move, actually, from what I'm seeing, is that he's going to get this captive back down here. Let me tilt the board a little bit for us so we can see those pieces down there better. There we go. Ally is looking to get this captive back. All right, so he has to capture up like that. Now we'll see if ally. Oh, he does want to take with the capstone. All right, that looks good. I would expect probably a wall here. Oh. Ooh, that is a close one. F2. Yes, my mistake. Just as I'm sure many people would do, I was not paying attention to the other players' threats. So this is, again, this a very similar setup. This has got a road threat here and here, and as you can see, there are two directions this can be completed. So that means that there has to be a capture. Because of that stack, of course, ally does have the pretty good option of just capturing down like that. The only other move was this piece downward. All right, and there's that wall in there. Even after the stack moved, he still had to make that, put that wall in. All right, ally opts to just build around it. But I'm expecting to see that wall capture there. And then he'd be able to use that to spread maybe like from there to here and here or something like that. From the spectator chat, Sultan Pepper is pointing out that yes, this capstone can't crush there because there are two pieces below here. So even if he left both of those pieces here, they could spread downward and complete the road. So this wall is winning that captive back, and we're looking at this capstone being fairly pinned again. All right, an A5. So ally just continuing to want to just build around that wall, which is probably a good move here. I'm feeling like for Simmon, the spread of this over this direction is probably pretty good. Leaves a black piece here, leaves his wall on top of here, with the ability to then capture up and sideways. Really just continuing to throw problems into Allies' attempts there. All right, so Simmon goes on C1. I would be very... Oh, he goes with a flat. Okay, I'd be very tempted to just play a wall out here. To just completely shut down this whole nonsense. So now he's got a little bit of games he can play with, you know, like capturing and whatnot. But there's the wall spread going out that way. This does give him the ability to, you know, flat here, and then that forces a capture. And then maybe he could do a wall after the forced capture. Maybe that would be better. What might be interesting, instead of leading with a6, he might lead with... Oh, he decides to just go that way. All right. That's an odd move, in my opinion, because it leaves one very blockable spot. What I was thinking is maybe leading with a2. All right, so then there's a capture from Simmon. So I would totally expect a wall at this point here, because this is going to continue to come after him. And even with the wall, this capstone then has the ability, you know, he's not far. He can make his way over. But it will at least require several moves of investment from Simmon. All right, cool. There's the wall. So what will Simmon do here? This capstone's still pinned down here. That's unfortunate. He is held out of the center. Although Simmon's capstone's currently not a lot better, so that's working out okay. All right, and he went with C3. Yeah, that's solid. That's good. He's just taking control of those center squares. Actually, Simmon does control the entire center block right now, so that's pretty good for him. All right, A6 from Ally. I don't know, is he trying to make some kind of a vertical thing happen? Now, you do have to keep in mind, as I was talking about last game, like this whole chunk, this whole bit here, is completely unthreatened. I would not be surprised to see something like A2 from Simmon, just to make this corner way more complicated. Oh, nope, instead, he's deciding to get something in the way there. Now, this is pretty good. So he's got this whole area here. Ooh, wow. So that's definitely a good move. Let me rotate a little more. We were forgetting about a captive down there. That front row kind of sneaks past me sometimes. There we go. So he's moved as well there to free that captive. Simmon was forced to capture here, although he did also have the option of this piece, which would be a little bit messier, and I think Ally still wins that exchange. Ooh, that's... All right, so this B4, he must be banking on taking control of B3. Yeah, very, very good move here for ally. Looks like B5 to the left. And that can't be met by B4 left because this stack will have 2 white pieces in it, and he'll just be able to cover. And that would probably be game. That would be the game right there. Oh, there is also the possibility of this wall coming into play, coming all the way over. But that would leave quite a few white pieces in its wake, so I don't know if that would actually block anything. So from here, I'm expecting Simmon's going to have to capture down. So let's see, Simmon down, ally over, Simmon left. And ally would be able to move this capstone up. So he could maintain control of that. Oh, man. Oh, wow. I don't think this sequence works. Ally can just capture down. And then with Simmon capturing left, ally can capture to the right. And that leaves these 2 squares empty for him to connect. I believe that's a Tinue. We'll see if they play out that exact line, but it looks good so far. Now, I do have to remember, oh, there is the wall here. Okay, but that's still, Oh, sorry, I was forgetting that there is another move that needs to be interspersed here. This wall needs to move out of the way. Oh, so I was off by 1 tempo on that calculation, but clearly Simmon saw what was really happening. So now we're actually looking at some kind of scary threats from both players here. Huh. I'm trying to look, so like we have like a connection here that goes all the way to there. We have the potential for, if he places here, we have a connection would come. Well, let me get so many lines. We could come down this way, connection that would be all the way through there, and simultaneously all the way across here. There's quite, yeah, there we go. There's quite a lot of space for ally to make some good threats. He's making use of this open whole top area of the board, like I pointed out at the beginning. That Simmon just hasn't gotten his pieces up there to really threaten that. All right, and that's the spread that I was expecting. With the 1 black piece down there, this is attack threat from Simmon. This goes through here and across here. So all he's got to do is move this wall with the 2 white captives out of the way. I'm feeling a little bit, I mean, this is getting messy. He could capture up here. I mean, he could do some other stuff. I mean, he does have this E3 piece is still got exposure to do that. Just to intersperse some moves in there. Oh, there he goes, yeah. Just giving himself a square to breathe. My expectation was this results, though, in a capture left. Oh, he uses the capstone. Interesting. I guess he's looking to kind of mobilize that capstone a bit more. And well, I'm looking here. Really, ally has to like any kind of move that is a capture from Simmon, because they are getting close to the same number of pieces left by black here, and so ally does need to win quicker rather than slower. So here, oh man, if only ally had time to get this wall out of the way. Okay, yep, A3 up. Something I was looking at there, because right now, all right, and he throws. Okay, so Simmon decides to throw that wall across. Kind of like to see him throw this stack here and here. That leaves 2 white pieces in this stack. Yeah, there we go, and allows him to make his vertical connection here. Ally may continue. We'll see what happens. At this point, oddly enough, B5 down, yeah, is looking like one of the best moves for Simmon. And then B3 up, maybe, just to try to keep as many of these black captives out of the stack as possible. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'd be able to spread kind of the whole stack. That would be... honestly, that looks good. B3 up, I mean, that's a pretty devastating capture. Oh, he opts for the C4 stack. C4 left. So now this way, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my aim's bad. 5, 6. So he wouldn't want to do that. He could only lift 5. This is kind of why I was thinking about this move being a little bit better. So now this stack's got to run upward. No questions there. So leave 1, and then probably the white, black, black, white on the very top square. This could result in a couple of walls from Simmon at this point. Ally's giving him a long think, but he makes that move. Oh, interesting. He splits it differently than I was thinking about. And, oh, the wall captures. So, is Ally looking at a capstone crush there? And that's not attack threat vertically. I gotta reposition the board again because we are coming into some complicated stacks here. Simmon plays C6. Oh, sorry. Let me straighten this out. Ooh. ally plays d6. Or no, sorry, e6. So that is attack threat because he's threatening through here, but also through these and through this to go all the way. He could spread this to go all the way here. Wow, interesting. I think... hell, I might have this. Oh, yeah, there we go. That looks... yeah, that's a Tinue right there. So he's got the threat across here. He can just fill in this square. Oh, I'm wrong. I am incorrect. That wall is interspersing another move in there. Well spotted by Simmon there. The one weak point left. You may notice I am wrong occasionally / frequently with the best moves. But that's okay. No one's going to be right all the time on commentating on TAC. Because there's always something that you're not looking at. There's a few moves left in this sequence, it looks like. So it will just certainly eat up a few more pieces, but I am feeling... Ooh. Well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically, he's looking that even if Simmons spreads this all the way across, he can spread across the top of that. Oh, all right. Yeah, he does the spread. So I would expect Ally to respond with a spread across the top of there. Because he can pick up the whole thing, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he can cover up all of these, which is what he needs to do. And then, yeah, then that is Tinue, because this stack might spread across the top of here, but he would have to leave white pieces in this stack. This honestly best move at this point honestly might be for Simmon to simply play a piece. But we'll see what he does. And I'm not sure what Simmon is doing. He is looking for something. All right, he does. That's the move I was wondering about. But this stack now can spread over the top, and then that leaves Simmon with nothing else he can do to block all 3 of these. And he just moves the capstone. So now Ally just can spread one of these guys. There we go. And white wins with a road. So ally takes the second game. And these games are so close that I actually can't say who won the match at this point. I am going to have to dig into the tiebreakers to see who won. So give me just a minute or so, and I will calculate that out. All right, folks, I have gone and looked back at the first game because I did not check the second tiebreaker in the first game. But if I go back and take a look at that, let me pull up the second game that I have up still here. So this is the second game. So first tiebreaker would be the for the person who wins. The first tiebreaker is the number of unplayed flats of your opponent, and whichever is greater would win. So in this case, it looks like these stacks are 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 15 for black. In the first game, there were also white. Simmon won as white, and there were also 15 left for black. So that's a tie on the first tiebreaker. Second tiebreaker goes to your own unplayed pieces. And as you can see in this game, it looks like it appears there are 12. There are 12 remaining there. So ally's second tiebreaker score is 12. In the first game, as white, Simmon won, and he had 18 left. So Simmon does take the match. Congratulations to Simmon. That was a crazy close match. Both games really great. This one ended up being a very divided. I mean, just look at this top-bottom division here. It's completely white on the top, black on the bottom. That's not gonna be a flat win when that happens. So, with that, it looks like we do have Simmon moving on. So let me update the bracket for this one. So Simmon will go on to face. So despite the Simmon winning the match, ally did take that game. So we have 6-6, but Simmon takes the result. All right, that is updated. Let me see what the... All right, what the matches have been updated. So we are down to just a bare few games left. Let me put that bracket back on the screen. So as you can see down here, we've just had Ally versus Simmon. Simmon wins. Simmon moves on yet again. And he will face the winner of Simon versus No Hat Coder, which is not yet scheduled. But so with that, we have, we already had the Salt and Pepper versus Unsweet semifinal. Sultan has moved on into the finals. And so from there, we just have Simon versus No Hat Coder, the winner of that versus Simmon, the winner of that versus Unsweet for his second shot, Unsweet, getting knocked down to the loser's bracket in the very last match. And then the winner of that will face Salt and Pepper for prizes. Beautiful Wormwood prizes that we have for both first and second place at the end of this tournament. But with that, it looks like we are completed. We are very likely going into our holiday break at this point. So the rest of these matches, of which there are only 4, 1, 2, 3, 4... 4 matches left in the entire tournament, you guys. And a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That makes sense. And honestly, there could be one extra grand final match, but I'll cover that when we get to the finals. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate everybody watching the stream. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Cheap Ass Games and Wormwood Gaming, for just making this possible, you know, giving us the permissions needed, and also for Wormwood for supplying the prizes. Thank you, of course, to US TAC Association, aka me. I'm the one currently running most of the tournament. And I hope you all be keeping an eye out on both the Facebook and Twitter for US TAC Association. You can check that out, USTAC.org, all smushed together one word. You can find us under that on both Facebook and Twitter. And we'll be keeping announcements going about when those last few matches will happen. Hope everybody has a happy holiday, and we will see you for the next matches in the new year.